everyone. Welcome to the 480th ISR Group Virtual Newcomer Orientation. My name is Regina Tyree, and I'm the Director of Airman and Family Readiness here with the 480th. Okay, now, don't tell anyone I told you this, and I feel relatively certain that this secret is safe with you, so shh. But because my team is exceptionally camera shy, okay, really only slightly more than I am. But because they are, you will not meet them through the course of this video. When we are able to resume normal operations, you will finally meet your fabulous Readiness NCO, Master Sergeant Moore, and the fantastic Airman and Family Readiness Technician, Staff Sergeant Trenum. Together, we make up your Airman and Family Readiness Center team here at Fort Gordon. Now, regardless of what squadron you are assigned to, if you are an airman of Fort Gordon, you are now considered a member of the 480th ISR Group family. Welcome. I'm sure you're aware that the 480th Group is a GSU, but what you might not be aware of is that the 480th has a variety of programs and services that operate much like they do on an Air Force installation. Group staff consist of Wing Staff Agency, Mission Support Group, as well as Medical Group programs and services here in support of all Fort Gordon Airmen and their families. The majority of these programs you will meet throughout this video, and they are also indicated in the Newcomer orientation packet that we provided to you via email. Yet all group staff, programs, and services are here in support of airmen and families throughout their tour here at Fort Gordon. If you look in your packet, you will see a detailed list of the programs and services provided to you by Airman and Family Readiness. Now, of course, we had to put our GSU specific spin on it, but we do our best to provide you optimal programs and services, much like you would receive on an Air Force installation. Now, under normal circumstances, your group in processing would consist of two tiers. The first tier would be newcomer orientation, and the second would be Right Start. The objective of Right Start is installation and local community acclimation, which we just didn't feel we could best meet through a virtual platform. But what that means is that when we are finally able to resume normal operations, we get to meet you and your families in person and formally welcome you to the 480th family. Now, between now and then, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you need assistance in any way, please refer to the packet and you will find contact information for all agencies that participate in newcomer orientation. Until then, we welcome you, we hope all is well, and we cannot wait to meet you.
Hello, I'm Tech Sergeant Chad Hammett with the OME cell, part of the ART team. The OME cell is made up of a staff physician and 2 medical technicians that are responsible for bridging the gap between the Eisenhower Army medical system and the Air Force. The OME employs primary and secondary prevention tactics to mitigate occupational and operational stressors, enhance resilience, prevent injury, and facilitate access to the healthcare system when needed. In addition to primary and secondary prevention, the embedded medics will advise operational unit commanders on the health of unit members, policies with impact on human performance, such as shift work schedules, workstation ergonomics, and other human factors to improve performance. That's just a fancy way of saying that we're here for you guys and to answer any medical questions that you may have or encounter while working in the Army system. The OME team has provided you with a due IMR sheet. These are individual medical readiness items that must be completed for you to remain deployable. Currently, due to the pandemic, the only item you are required to complete is your PHA. After the pandemic is passed, you will be able to complete the rest of the items that you are due for. As discussed earlier, Connolly Clinic is where your PCMs are located. They provide acute, routine, and follow-up care. Additionally, Connolly Clinic has a pharmacy, immunization clinic, and laboratory. Currently, due to the pandemic, all non-essential medical services are on pause. If you have a question about what may or may not be essential, please contact the OME team at 762-218-3194. The most important part of this slideshow presentation is to ensure that both yourself and your family members are appropriately enrolled in TRICARE. Please call the provided 1-800 number and enroll yourselves in TRICARE East. All active duty members will be TRICARE Prime, receiving their care from their PCMs at Connolly Clinic. Dependents will have the option of being TRICARE Prime, receiving their care on the installation, or TRICARE Select. TRICARE Select allows your family members to receive care off the installation. Of note, when receiving care off the installation, family members will incur a small copay for all medical visits and prescriptions. There are a few important points to remember when dealing with your PCM. First, PCM stands for Primary Care Manager. This means they will provide most of your acute, routine, and follow-up care. Additionally, a PCM is the gatekeeper to all specialist appointments. This means prior to booking a specialist appointment, you must first see your PCM. If they are unable to handle the issue, then they will send you to a specialist. Second, if you are ever unhappy with the care that you have received, you have a few different options. First, you can ask to speak to a supervisor of the NCOIC of the clinic and discuss your concern. Second, you can always ask for a patient advocate. This should be an unbiased party in that clinic who is not involved in your care that you can discuss your concern. Third, you can enter an ICE complaint by going to the link provided in the slideshow. ICE complaints do go directly to the hospital commander where they have oversight. This can be anonymous, or you can ask for a callback. Typically, when we give this presentation, we're there in person and we're able to answer your questions if you have them. Due to the pandemic, all of these have gone virtually, so if any of you have any questions, please call or text to 762-218-3194. Thank you, and welcome to Fort Gordon.
Hi everyone, I'm Staff Sergeant Amanda Eckstein and I am the FTAC NCOIC, also known as the First Term Airman Course. So the First Term Airman Course is an orientation program for all First Term Airmen that is to be taken once they reach their first operational duty station. Some of the topics that we cover in FTAC are education initiatives, financial management, the enlisted evaluation systems such as the ACA and the EPR, as well as resiliency and SAPR and some of the things that you guys may have already touched on. Right now we are holding virtual FTAC sessions of 10 to 12 airmen at a time, and I will be working with your CSSs and your flight chiefs to get you guys enrolled in virtual FTAC sessions coming up in the future. You might also see a message from me in the Gateway Flight WhatsApp chat room. Just look out for those so we can get you guys enrolled as soon as possible. You should be provided with my email and my telephone number from the Airman and Family Readiness folks. So if you have any questions regarding FTAC at any time, just go ahead and reach out to me and I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. I really hope you guys enjoy your time here at Fort Gordon, and I really look forward to seeing you all soon.
Hey, good morning, y'all. I am Sergeant Adams, and I am the Gateway Academy NCOIC. I just want to start off by welcoming you all here to Fort Gordon. I know things are a little bit crazy right now, but hopefully when that changes, you guys will be able to get out and about and kind of see the awesome things that the area has to offer. it's not a bad place to be. As far as Gateway Academy, the usual course is a 3-week in-person course with a variety of instructors and different topics for your professional development. We've had to move that to a virtual platform due to COVID-19. So right now it's looking like it's going to be 2 to 3 courses a day, every other day or twice a week, usually lasting no more than 3 hours a day. And it's going to be taught to groups of 10 airmen virtually, so either on a voice chat or video chat, or just by PowerPoint virtually. So how it's going to work is I'm going to get your information from Master Sergeant Naden and probably shoot you a WhatsApp message with details on when you can look forward to starting your first class. If you have any questions, you can hit up Master Sergeant Naden, and that's all I have for you. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll be in contact with you soon.
Hello, welcome to Fort Gordon, Georgia. I'm Master Sergeant Amy Hawkins, and I'm the functional manager for the airmen assigned here to Fort Gordon. A brief introduction: I work with your squadron and group leaders to develop and implement a sustainable enlisted force development plan, and that will include service and national mission needs. Now, I work with your squadron and group leaders in concert with NSAG mission leaders to ensure movement of personnel and professional development, the best opportunities that we can afford to you while you're here at Fort Gordon. So what that means is that every couple of years, you should expect to be able to move around and do something new and different. And we want to talk to you about that during Newcomers, because that'll give you an opportunity to really sort of think about what you might want to do in the future and sort of make career goals and plans for yourself. And what we would like for you to do, what we encourage you to do, is make those plans and then have those conversations with your supervisory chains, being both your Air Force and your mission leaders. You may find when you are working in the building, you may find that you have 2 separate chains of command, your Air Force chain of command and your mission chain of command. Now, those are separate things. They're your operational chain of command, that's your mission chain of command within White Law, and your Air Force chain of command, which is your supervisor, your flight chief, your flight commander, your squadron superintendent, your squadron commander, and so forth. Those are oftentimes separate because you may be working a national mission that includes civilians, contractors, and sister service personnel. And that's a lot more personnel than just the Air Force. So you're going to be working directly with a blended environment of personnel, and therefore you'll have maybe some different leaders than you will on your Air Force side. But we encourage you to have these conversations, including your professional and personal career goals, with both of those chains of command, because they're both there to help you. And the best way for you to get the best possible professional development while you're here is to be communicative and have open dialogue with all of those personnel that can help you in meeting those goals. The reason that I told you a minute ago is to expect to move every couple of years is because we never want you to be in any one position for too long. It's not good for you, and it's not good for the Air Force, and it's not good for the national mission either. We want you to get moving around and get breadth of experience and get the most out of your career while you're here at Fort Gordon. You could be here for 3 years, or you could be here for 10 years. We just never know, especially for the linguist personnel, because of the nature of the mission and the availability of where you can go as a linguist. You may be a little limited. So you may be here for an extended period of time. And because of that, we want to make sure that you have as much breadth of experience as you can possibly get. We don't want you to become stagnant and bored and, just kind of spinning your wheels and not feeling like you're getting much of anything out of your military career. I want you to get as much as you possibly can out of your career while you're here as we can possibly get for you. Some of those moves might include a special duty position, being in the squadrons or in the group. You could apply to become a unit training manager or a unit deployment manager or a CLPM or an MLI. There are a ton of things that you could apply to do. Those are just a couple quick examples. You could also move around mission-wise. You can go between Air Force specific missions and national missions. There's a ton of different things that you can do within the national side. You can move around to all different types of places. Missions change all the time, and therefore there are always opportunities to move around and try something new. And as you progress in your military career and you promote to newer ranks, there's going to be more open doors for you as far as what you can do and where you can go. Now, I will tell you that we will tell you right from the start, right here at Newcomers, that you should not expect to be able to move until you've been in the same position for at least 2 years. And that's beneficial on all ends. We want you to have at least a couple of years of experience. We want you to get into your job and we want you to get trained up, because that's going to take probably 6 months to a year. And once you get trained, we want the mission leaders to have return on that investment. They're going to get you trained up, but they want you to then work in that mission and get return on that investment and that training. And then at maybe the 2 to 3 year mark, that's when we'll look at moving you around and getting you something new. You want to have that conversation, as I said before, with your supervisors and your chains of command, so that they know sort of what you might be interested in, and they can get to know what your strengths are and put you into a mission that will play to your strengths, but also develop you and give you even more tools in your tool belt. So that's why we expect you to work in your first assigned mission for at least 2 years. Potentially a little longer. It just depends on the training pipeline and what sorts of opportunities are available and when. It could be between 2 and as much as 3 years. We just don't want you to assume that just because you didn't move right at the 2 year mark that you're never going to move. And we definitely want to encourage you to speak to your supervisors if you are getting close to the 3 year mark and you haven't been approached by your leadership chain as to what you might want to do. Those conversations may already be being had. You just may not be involved in the conversations yet. So if you're not and you haven't heard anything and you've been in the same mission for a few years, then you're going to want to talk to your chain of command and make sure that they know that you've been there for as long as you've been there and it's time for you to move. And you definitely want to let them know if there's something specific that you're really interested in and that you want to apply to do. Now, not everything is going to require a quote unquote application, but they at least need to know that that's what your interests are so that they can start looking at that for you. And again, teamwork, it's going to be a lot quicker and easier for you to get those developmental opportunities if you're working as a team versus if you're just by yourself trying to figure it out on your own. There may be a ton of opportunities you may not even be aware of until you have those conversations with your supervisors and your chains of command. You should be getting a feedback session from your Air Force chain of command at least once a year. It should actually be more like twice a year, sometimes more, just depending on, if you're moving around and you're getting a new supervisor, or your supervisor moves around and you're getting a new supervisor. You should get at least 2 separate feedback sessions a year. And one of the things that you should be talking about during those feedback sessions is your professional career goals. Those goals can be the things that you can start to think about now at Newcomers and while you're waiting to get into the building. We don't know at this time what the security process is going to be and how long it's going to be before you actually get into the building and start working. So this is something that you can do during that time. You can start sitting down and writing down the sorts of things you might be interested in doing. There are some literature out there that you can look at to see what sorts of things are available to you. I encourage you to talk to the Career Assistance Advisor, Master Sergeant Hun. He's available to you to talk about potential career opportunities specific to your AFSCs. There are also going to be some subject matter experts within your squadrons who can give you more AFSC specific guidance and information, and I encourage you to reach out to those personnel. If you don't know who those are, reach out to your squadron superintendents and your squadron operational superintendents, and they can definitely guide you in the right direction. The last thing I want to tell you before I let you go is to take your career into your own hands. No one's going to look after your career better than you are. And the best thing you can do for yourself is to, again, write down your goals, have that communication, that open dialogue with your chains of command, both mission and Air Force chains of command, on a very regular and frequent basis, so that you know and they know and everybody is on the same page as far as what you might want to do in your future. Keep these things in mind. They will probably change as you work and as you learn new things. You might get involved in something that you didn't even know existed prior, and it becomes really interesting to you, and you want to really dive into that further. The best thing you can do is make sure that people know so that they can help you along that path. So take your career into your own hands. If you're not getting the feedback from your supervisor that you feel like you should be, seek that out. Talk to your supervisor, your element lead, your flight chief, your flight commander. Your entire chain of command is there to help you. And if you have any questions at any time, you can always reach out to me. My name is, again, Master Sergeant Amy Hawkins. You can find my email address and my phone number on the Newcomers pamphlet, the Newcomers brochure. And you can also find my civilian counterpart, Mr. James Wilson. His contact information is also on that pamphlet. Reach out to us at any time. We're always available via email, and we're here to answer your questions. If you have any specific professional development and guidance type placement questions, I delve pretty deeply into billets, but that's not something you necessarily need to be all that familiar with on your day-to-day during your day-to-day work and duties. But you would need to know where we do have positions available to you based on your rank and your AFSC and your skill set and things like that, types of schooling that you've been to. So if you have specific questions about where you could potentially go, the types of opportunities that are actually available to you, we are more than happy to help you with that. So please reach out to us at any time, day or night, and we will get back to you. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day, and again, welcome to Fort Gordon.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Master Sergeant Miller, and I am the 480th SAPR Program Manager, and I'm also a credentialed victim advocate. We do have a SARC that's inbound to us, but she will be here when all this is over, hopefully this summer, and you'll get a chance to meet both of us when we can all integrate back into our work centers. So the most important thing I want to cover with you guys today is the definitions of a sexual assault, consent, and your reporting options. So sexual assault, an act in which a person intentionally sexually touches another person without that person's consent or physically forces a person to engage in a sexual act against their will. It is a form of sexual violence, which includes rape, groping, child sexual abuse, or the torture of a person in a sexual manner. So when it comes to sexual assault, it is a crime. We want you to be aware of that. If you're in the situation, that you can come back and talk to us at any time, give us a call, reach out, and we're here to assist you. The biggest things we come across when it comes to sexual assault is consent. So consent is when someone agrees, gives permission, participates enthusiastically, says yes to sexual activity with a person. Consent is always freely given, and all people in a sexual situation must feel that they can say yes or no to stop a sexual activity at any point. The important thing about this is making sure the person that you're having engagements with says yes. And if they say no, they stop, they don't want to do this anymore, you respect their right to say no, and you stop all activities. Now, when it comes to reporting options, there's some few things that you guys need to understand. One, mandatory reporters. Your mandatory reporters include your chain of command, which is your supervisor, flight chief, flight commander, first sergeant, chief, and commanders. At any point, if they are made aware of a sexual assault, they have to report it. This will start an investigation. So I advise you to be careful on who you talk to about a sexual assault. At any point you need someone to talk to please reach out to the SAPR office. Now, when it comes to reporting options, we have two, restricted and unrestricted. So when restricted is when it's no investigation, no command involvement, and we're here just to give you the support and the resources you need to deal with the trauma. You can talk to a victim advocate, we can get you in touch with mental health, a chaplain, medical attention if needed. The biggest thing about the chaplain, he has 100% confidentiality, so you can tell them anything you need to, and they will not and cannot talk about it to anybody else. However, they will not be able to file a report with the SAPR office. We need you to come in to do that. Unrestricted. This is when investigation is started and the command is involved. You will get assigned a special victim counsel, a representative to take care of just you. You can see mental health, a chaplain, you get a victim advocate. And also, a big thing with this nowadays is expedited transfer. So if you file an unrestricted report with the SAPR office, you have an option for an expedited transfer. This means that you can move to a location that's not here and closer to a support system. Now, when you file this, it goes under humanitarian, so it's not related to a sexual assault, and we get an answer about 72 hours from when somebody files for this. So this is a great option for victims to get closer to a support system. Also, you can get a military protective order or a civilian protective order. This is useful when if it's somebody in the dorms or somebody you live with or maybe a coworker and you want them to have no contact with you, we can file one of those. So who can make a report? We have active duty, civilians, at any time can make a report. Dependents as well can make a report as long as they're under their parents' benefits. You can come to the SAPR office to make a report. You can call the SAPR hotline. We have a 24/7 hotline, which all that information is in your welcome packet, so please take a look at those numbers. And basically, I just want you to know that we're here to help. We're here to support. If you need somebody to talk to, we do not want you to suffer in silence. So please feel free to reach out. I hope you enjoy your stay here at Fort Gordon, and I can't wait for this is all over so we can meet you guys and also give you some great swag. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to meeting you.
Hi everyone, I'm Major Sonia Pons, and I am your group psychologist. I first want to welcome you to Fort Gordon and talk about my services and why I'm here. My position is considered an embedded position. Although I'm a psychologist, in this position I work as an operational psychologist, which means that I don't do treatment. However, I do provide counseling, consultation, or coaching. I do not document, and our conversations are confidential. There are some exceptions to that I would discuss with you if we should meet. I have a counterpart. He's Master Sergeant Jeremiah Patterson, and he's a CADA, which is a certified alcohol drug counselor. So if you have questions about yourself or about a friend or about a family member regarding alcohol use, he's the person to call. These positions were made available starting at the 480th Wing so that airmen can feel comfortable talking to people who know the culture, who have security access, and who can also maintain your concerns and confidentiality outside of your medical records. My job is to help you stay resilient and motivate you to thrive in this environment. This is a tough job that you're going to be doing. So we want to make sure that you stay healthy, that your family stay healthy. And that's why we're made available at all times. You can reach us through texting, through email, phone calls. We can schedule conversations over the phone. We can schedule conversations for sessions in conversations with couples. If you want to bring your significant other as well, that's available for you. Today, I will be discussing suicide prevention and alcohol awareness. I have a few slides for you guys to look at. I have notes on the bottom. Please read them carefully. There's really good information there for you to take with you to help you stay healthy and be resilient. But most of all, to learn how to look out for yourself and symptoms that may come up or that you may have had before that could turn into more dangerous situations if you don't address them immediately. That's why we're here, right? We want to make sure that you feel comfortable enough coming to us and telling us what's not going well. And we want to help you course correct so that you are the best version of yourself at work and at home, okay? So I'll leave you with Ms. Tyree, and I'll leave you with the slides so that you can review them. I'm always available for questions, so if any of you want to call me, my number is in the welcome package that the Airman Resiliency gives out to you all. So please feel free to call me anytime you need questions answered. Thank you, and enjoy your time here.